Good morning, everyone. My name is Divyesh Nagarajan, and today I'll be addressing the topic of life satisfaction and age. My research was conducted with the following question in mind. How does life satisfaction change during an individual's senior years? To provide some context to my presentation, I will share the framework it follows. I went into my research thinking that life satisfaction peaked during youth and went into decline thereafter. However, I later discovered that recent research has found that there is a U-bend of life satisfaction. This U-bend is composed of an initial peak in life satisfaction during youth, a nadir during middle life, and a second peak during an individual's senior years. In other words, after the midlife crisis that is common among many countries, life satisfaction gradually increases towards that senior peak. Now, I would like to transition back to my research question. How does life satisfaction change during an individual's senior years? In other words, what is the reason for the second apex? For my research, I've identified three key factors that explain why life satisfaction increases during an individual's senior years. Number one, there is an increase in economic stability and mental stimulation for many seniors. Number two, seniors tend to lower their focus and reliance on material wealth and physical pleasure. And number three, many seniors intensify their spiritual and religious practices. Now onto my first component, an increase in economic stability. In Canada and many other countries, pension commences at the age of 65. Pension provides people with a monthly income, providing seniors with a financial cushion that allows them to unwind and reap the benefits accumulated by a long stretch of hard work. Moreover, if a senior citizen chooses not to retire, they have the opportunity to comfortably work later in life, as in the current information economy, jobs are often less physically demanding. This enables seniors to accrue consistent income for a longer period of time. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health, which consisted of a sample size of approximately 3,000 people, indicated a possible connection between working 1 year or more after the age of retirement and a 9 to 11% lower risk of dying during the 18-year study period, regardless of health. Research has shown that work provides the mental stimulation crucial for maintaining brain health later on in life. In fact, Forbes cites a paper from 2010 by economists Susan Roeder of RAND and Robert Willis of the University of Michigan, which concluded that retirement had a significant negative impact on the cognitive ability of people in their early 60s. A view which is further supported by Dr. Daniel Levitin, a neuroscientist at McGill University, who quips that if you want to live a satisfying, long life, stay busy. Too much time with no purpose is associated with unhappiness. The second factor is that life satisfaction among seniors often becomes less about materialism and physical pleasure. For many seniors, life satisfaction changes in philosophy. According to psychologist Dr. Heidi Grant Halverson, satisfaction lies not in what waits ahead, but in savoring what you already have. This notion is summarized in her statement that later into adulthood, an individual's happiness has evolved, just as they have. Even though their version seems less fun by the standards of their younger selves, that doesn't mean it's less good. Building on Halverson's message on the evolution of happiness, in the Book of Joy, the Dalai Lama describes modern materialistic life satisfaction as being mainly concerned with sensory experiences. The Dalai Lama advises people to pay more attention to the mental level of joy and happiness, not just physical pleasure, but satisfaction at the level of the mind. He explains that where physical pleasure is temporary, the level of mental happiness attained by developing a strong sense of concern for the well-being of all sentient beings, and in particular, all human beings, lasts longer and is consequently superior. To contrast the Dalai Lama's message, Abrams references the age-old outlook of life as a hedonic treadmill, the scientific term for the unsatisfactory nature of pursuing pleasure alone. This way of living has revealed itself to be unsatisfactory and unsustainable, as scientists have found that the more we experience any pleasure, the more we become numb to its effects and take its pleasures for granted. The Dalai Lama summarizes this unsustainable, fleeting form of life satisfaction in a statement that so long as the music is playing, they feel happy. Research has shown that we achieve the lasting satisfaction that the Dalai Lama speaks of by helping others. According to Dr. Richard Davidson, a professor of psychology and psychiatry at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, reveals that the brain has 4 independent circuits that affect long-term well-being. The 4th circuit encompasses our ability to be generous. This last circuit is responsible for the satisfaction people gain when we support and assist others. In other words, by loving and treating others kindly, as the Dalai Lama stipulates, life satisfaction is elevated. This last point is especially applicable to the older population that achieves life satisfaction by guiding younger members of the population from their wealth of experience. The Dalai Lama's ideology relates to that expressed by Halverson, as the more sustainable mental level of happiness begins to overshadow the fleeting materialistic happiness that the Dalai Lama warns against with age. The final and third element of my presentation is that many seniors intensify their religious and spiritual practices. The Pew Research Center correlates religious devotion with increased life satisfaction in a 2019 report indicating that actively religious people are more likely than their less religious peers to describe themselves as very happy. For instance, in the United States, 36% of the actively religious describe themselves as very happy, compared with the 25% of inactively religious and 25% of the unaffiliated. Sadhguru Shivaya Subramanya Swami of Kauai Hindu Monastery states that the mind nor the spirit deteriorates over time. It is only the physical body that is slowly dissolving into the essences from which it came. In other words, as the physical body weakens, the spirit is very much active, allowing individuals to continue on with their religious and spiritual endeavors later in life. Subramanya Swami also highlights that although work-related responsibilities subside during an individual's senior years, the additional time afforded can be channeled into other outlets such as religious service, strengthening the individual's connection with God. Through heightened religious and spiritual practice, these individuals often volunteer through organizations like church groups. By volunteering with these groups, senior citizens fill the void of unproductive time in their daily lives, working instead towards a common goal with other like-minded individuals, establishing connections with others, and feeling fulfilled as a result. The limitations of these 3 factors do not rest so much in their influence on increasing life satisfaction. This has already been proven through research. The limitations of these factors, then, lies in the volume of people they apply to. These factors are by no means universal. They merely serve to describe a general trend highlighted by researchers in recent studies. It is important to note, as a result, that not every senior experiences an evolution in what they perceive to be life satisfaction, and, likewise, not every senior experiences an increase in life satisfaction. Based on recent studies, however, many do. To summarize, I would like to explain how the 3 factors I described increase life satisfaction in seniors. Particularly, how do these 3 factors relate back to my research question? Through an increase in economic stability, individuals are able to work later on in life. Working after the age of retirement provides mental stimulation beneficial to cognitive function during one's senior years. Furthermore, this provides seniors with additional funds from a sustained income. Also, many seniors experience an evolution in what provides them with life satisfaction. Life satisfaction changes in perspective and is achieved on the level of the mind. This form of life satisfaction has been characterized as more permanent and fulfilling than the satisfaction gained through material wealth. Lastly, an intensified devotion to religious and spiritual practices as a result of more free time and less formal commitments among seniors affords them with the opportunity to achieve satisfaction through religious or spiritual means. By the same token, religious organizations offer fulfillment in the form of religious outreach programs. Thank you.